So this is Indian yellow. I'm going to start with, add some water. I think we're going to cover the entire page in yellow. How about that? Create like a yellow base to paint with. Now, how about some quin pink? Ooh, that's fun. I'm going to fade it up here to the sky. This is Paul Rubens green. I'm going to add in some trees, some hills here. I think they might turn out to be hills. And then maybe have some water down here. This is cinereous. You could also use a cerulean hue, a phthalo blue. Get my brush all cleaned off. How about some ultramarine? This is a really fun ultramarine because it granulates really well. Add in a different green here. This is sap. All right, let's pull out a different piece of paper. This is my reflections book. Hold on, I need a clip or something. I stick it under the edge of another book to keep it open. That works, right? Yeah, there we go. You can see everything. About some yellow raw ochre. This one needs a good bit of water to activate it. Put some sand down here. Needs some water added to it. And this is violet. So now there's a mountain. I don't really know where I'm going with any of these. I just put some paint on paper, and then I work with whatever challenge I've created for myself, and then put some more paint on paper until it turns into something. I don't really know where I'm going. So you can join me in having no idea where we're going. I'm now adding some sap and Paul Rubens green. You can use like a forest, or a forest with some black in it, or phthalo green with some black in it would create the Paul Rubens. This is Mars black and phthalo green are the pigments that's in Paul Rubens green. If you wanted to make one for yourself, it came in a granulation set from Paul Rubens. And just add some more water. Make it flow down the page there and clean off my brush. Phthalo is harder to clean off of the brush. Indian yellow. Now I have some clouds. So apparently it's going to be a sunset. And quin pink. You could use aquin rose or permanent rose or anything that looks pink that's made with PV19. That's like a quinacridone pink, a rose color. And I'm just adding water to blend it all, and now getting the extra water off of the brush. This paper has a tendency to absorb whatever you've put on it and then have these like hard lines that you have to work with. You can mitigate that a bit by wetting the paper first, but I generally just kind of put the paper on the paint, put the paint on the paper, and then kind of work with whatever that creates. I'm going to blend this down to the mountaintop here, being careful not to actually touch the mountaintop because then it's going to get in my sky. If it did, I would figure out what to do about that. Let me blend down here a little bit. It was like the edges on a painting like this. I'm going to add some cinereous here and create some water down here. Yeah. And you'll notice here I am actually using clean and dirty water because I'm not feeling so good, so I'm set up for painting for many different paintings. I've got a stack of books here. I'm just going to paint through them all because it's late and I feel bad. But if you use a clean and a dirty, if you are painting in bed or something, you can use two like travel Nalgene water containers and just have one of them that you're working out of at a time, and when it gets really dirty, then you can switch to the clean water. I wouldn't try to actually paint out of 2 travel containers at the same time. I would just let one get really dirty and then switch to a clean water container. You'll learn pretty quickly if you do use travel water containers in bed. First of all, hold them in your hand and don't set them down. But second of all, you will learn very quickly which colors are very intense and are going to make your water really dirty. So you dip the brush in the water once and then clean it off on your cloth instead of in the water. I don't know what we're going to paint. Let's see. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try to make it look like it's night out and then put a landscape on that, because you can't really layer the black over top of the landscape. I'm going to start with black. This is Mars black, which is very heavily granulating. If you've ever taken a photo at night, you know it has that like texture on the photo because it's dark out. That's noise. So I think this will mimic that. The granulation from the Mars black will mimic the like noise in a photograph, which generally people try to mitigate that and not have that in their photos, but I'm going to try to paint like it's night out. Start with a black page. So here's the Indian yellow. And I'm cleaning my brush again because it's picking up the black paint very quickly, so this could become quite a mess. We shall see. Now I'm mixing the Indian yellow and the quin pink together. Let's just see if we can blend this into a nice sunset. Yeah. Now we need some ground. Let's do silhouette because it's so dark out. We're going to need a silhouette. So this is Paul Rubens green again, which is made with phthalo green and Mars black. Just going to tap in some trees here and try to make this real dark, like it's a tree silhouette. And now I guess this will be the dark foreground using the same color. So I still have the color on my brush, and I dipped it into the dirty side of the water and just went back to the paper. If you add more water to your brush, it will help the color that is already on your brush to come off of the brush onto the paper. That worked pretty well. Let's see if we can add any sand here. I called it sand. It's a yellow ochre. So any yellow ochre that you have, or Amiata sienna, Monte Amiata natural sienna, or a raw sienna, something like that. Let's get out another book. Alright, so here is another reflections book. That one was the 5x5 square one. Now this is the 3x5 little one that I keep next to my bed a lot of the time. I'm going to start with some cinereous. Normally I end up with like a green foreground or sand colored foreground. So I'm going to start with blue down here, and then we'll see if we can turn that into something. This is ultramarine. So mixing on paper the ultramarine with the cinereous, making this kind of in-between textury blue color. And now we need a sky. I'm just going to dip the brush. I dipped the brush in the water and then went directly to the paper because I already had the color on the brush. I'm not going to bother cleaning the brush here. This is the Paul Rubens green. Hey, my method is flawed. Let's add some sand here to our beach. This has actually turned out looking like we're standing out in the water. That's fun. I'm letting the yellow ochre touch the edge of the green there, so you get this kind of cool mixture of the green down with the yellow ochre, which makes it look natural. Now let's do some lines in the water here. This will create some water ripples. So I'm just cleaning off the brush and lifting. And then add one more little cloud down here. Clouds will get smaller at the horizon. Yeah, I think that turned out really fun. I love this one the best out of all of the things that I just painted. That was fun. Thank you for hanging out with me while I painted some landscapes. Hopefully you will find one of these to go paint yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.